Hey, I'm Josh.
I'm Ken.
This is Ken and Josh Go to the Movies.
Today we're going to be reviewing I Am Legend, starring Will Smith.
He's a legend.
He is a legend. And it's about, they find a cure for cancer, and then it turns out it's not a cure for cancer, it turns everyone into zombies.
Well, it both cures cancer and turns them into zombies.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah. So they're cancer-free zombies. And Will Smith is the only one who's immune to this new virus. And so basically the entire world either dies or turns into zombies, and it's about how Will Smith tries to find a cure alone in the world with his dog. And just before we get started any further...
Spoilers!
Complete spoilers, so if you want to watch this movie, go see it and then come back and watch the review.
We'll give you a second. Alright. So, I Am Legend. So let's start with the parts I liked. You know, be on the optimistic side. I'm spending pretty much the entire movie with Will Smith and his dog. And there's not a more likable dude in movies than Will Smith. He's a good actor, and he's just a guy you want to hang out with.
Yeah, I mean, very few actors could turn in a performance in a blockbuster that you think, wow, that's like an award-worthy performance.
Mm-hmm.
And this is pretty close. It's up there with like Sigourney Weaver and Aliens.
He really is
really
fantastic,
intense.
and so considering he's the only guy in the movie, that accounts for a lot.
Well, since we said spoilers, he's not the only guy in the movie. But
that's right. There are other survivors, but we'll get to that. Yeah, I mean, you see Will Smith kind of wandering around New York like 3 years later when everything's been, nature's starting to take over again and everybody's gone, and seeing him just dealing with it.
It's kind of cool to see him wandering around New York all by himself,
mm-hmm.
until you realize it's mostly green screen, just fake New York.
There's a lot of CGI in this movie. The zombies are very CGI. Yeah. But, I mean, it is cool just to see, like, his mindset and how he's dealing with it all and his kind of slow attempt to stop the virus from spreading.
It was very reminiscent of Castaway, but New York instead of a random island.
The major similarity I saw was 28 Days Later, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and so I kept comparing it to it, and that part of the movie where you see the protagonist just wandering around on his own, dealing with being the last dude alive, works really well.
I loved how he had all these mannequins that he found to set up around town, so when he'd go somewhere, he'd see these mannequins and just start talking to them.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny and kind of creepy at the same time.
Because Will Smith is kind of funny and creepy at the same time. But, I mean, it works kind of exploring his psychology and how he's dealing with, the loneliness of that.
Yeah.
Then around the point where Will Smith's dog dies and he gets really upset and tries to kill himself by running over zombies in his SUV, the movie gets really stupid. And then it takes a serious downturn when the other survivors show up and starts defying all previous logic that had existed in the movie.
I didn't think it was as bad as you say it is towards the end. I mean, it definitely goes downhill when he tries to kill himself and then this girl appears out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere!
But, I mean, it's really like the last 30 minutes of a 2-hour movie. And it's not that atrocious.
But the ending is the most important part. It reflects on the entire movie that came before it. And if they mess up the ending, I feel kind of betrayed as a movie watcher.
I found it really laughable, though, that we find out there is a little community of survivors, and it's off in some wooded area, and they've decided to build a little fence around it, like that's going to stop these zombies.
Oh, yeah, seriously.
That was hilarious.
This is 3 years later. The zombies, these are insane superhuman zombies. They kill everybody really quickly, and they're smart, and they're fast.
Yeah, we learned that they're learning and they're evolving, too, so it's not like they're going to see a wall and never learn how to climb.
After 3 years, they haven't figured out how to kill these people? Doesn't make sense. Also, Will Smith sees this female survivor who's the first woman he's seen in 3 years and doesn't think, wow, let's procreate with her, try to save the human race.
To be fair, he wakes up after she saves him. He's there for a couple hours, and then he explodes and he dies. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have time to really get it on.
Oh, and then that night, he finds the cure for the zombiness.
Again, also, he'd been working on it the entire time, and he seems like he already knew it was going to work leading up to that final few minutes.
But it's a lot of fucking coincidence. And it's not even made completely clear how he finds the cure.
But, I mean, again, it's a better movie than you're letting on. It's not a great movie, but for a blockbuster, it's a lot more intelligent than...
I mean, it's an entertaining movie, and there is, some introspection and stuff, but there are parts of it just really bugged me.
It was also really thrilling at times, like when he goes to look for his dog in the old abandoned apartment building. That was really creepy.
There's some really suspenseful stuff.
I really like the scene where he sees Fred, the mannequin, just randomly on the street, and you can't tell what's going on because the mannequin's head moves. Mm-hmm. So is it a mannequin? Is it one of these monsters with clothes on?
That was pretty cool. Though I want to say something about the sound design, which really irritated me. This movie's always really quiet or really loud, and the loud parts are just, you just want them to stop. You know,
I'm pretty sure human beings, even if they've been infected, can't roar like a lion.
Yeah, they were doing things
sure.
no human should be able to do. And no, the movies, I mean, there's tense parts, but then the scary parts are, they're scary in the way a car alarm going off in the middle of the night's scary. Or it's scary for a split second, and then you're just annoyed and you want it to shut off.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, this is a good movie.
I mean, yeah, it's okay, it's good, but I think a lot of people are going to not like it, mainly for the reasons we did like it. It's really slow and kind of thoughtful for the first hour.
Mm-hmm. And then there are
It's not action-packed.
And then there are people like us who will like it for the reasons we liked it, and then we'll get annoyed by the horrible coincidences at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So, let's show them a rating.
Okay.
I gave this movie a B+ for the first couple 2/3, and then a C+.
I gave it an exploding Will Smith.
That doesn't look like Will Smith.
Kind of looks like him.
It's not black.
Yeah, he is.
The outline's black. Well, thanks for watching our review. I'm Josh.
I'm Ken.
This is Ken and Josh Go to the Movies.